What's up, everybody? This is Humility and Hunger, and this is the end of our DTS. Here's what happened. One of the biggest things we learned about was just being desperate for the Lord and the humility it takes, just even as Jesus came down to save all of us and die on the cross for us. And now we're seeing like the need that we have for Him, especially during outreach when you're in the middle of nowhere and you need God. You have to be desperate for God and still want to get to know Him more. It's just really cool to see like how it plays out at the beginning when you're first learning about Him, and now at the end of outreach and you're like, God, I still need you. I still want to know more.
What I really learned from Humility and Hunger is the hunger after humility. That sounds weird, but what made Jesus so awesome, as we learned through class, is His humility. He emptied Himself so that He could be filled. And I gotta say, throughout lecture phase, that was hard, but I understand why when we went all the way to outreach, you have to be emptied. It can't be about you and what you want, but you have to be emptied so that the Lord can fill you up. And what I loved about Bread and More, we learned all about hospitality. I had like the two best things, because when we went out to outreach, guess what it was all about? Hospitality. It ain't about you, about where you sleep, it's about how much you can give. And you know the surprising thing is, you are so filled with His grace and glory, it's always worth it.
Outreach was amazing. Lots of our ministry in Nepal had to do with just encouraging churches, and one of those things we did was run seminars. And at one of these seminars in Nepal, I met this man who had a really crippled hand, and he couldn't open it or anything. But we got to pray for him, and he wasn't healed in that moment, but he came back to the church a couple days later for a sermon, and after the service we got to pray for him again, and it still wasn't healed. But as we kind of moved on the group, I really felt that God was speaking to go and pray for him one more time. So I went and approached him, asked him if he wanted me to pray for him one more time, and his hand was healed. He could move it and everything. So it was truly incredible just to see how God came through in an act of obedience. And I really learned a lot about trusting God in that.
Hi, I'm Julie from Humility and Hunger DTS, and there's one day that I really saw God's faithfulness on outreach, where He brought a young girl to her neighbor's house just at the right time, where she got to hear the gospel as we shared it, and she accepted Jesus into her heart that day. And as we prayed, she started crying, and we asked what was going on, what was going through her mind, and her response was that God is so good to me. We later learned that she had a lot of hardships in her life, but she still saw the goodness of God, and I saw God's faithfulness and His pursuit of each one of us.